Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Talkin Shop with three heads. And do we know where do we know where Dalton is?
No
he
clue.
signed in. He signed in, but we have not seen him or heard him. He's just under construction. Maybe the floor is the ceiling now. Maybe he's officially. He was out in the whatever that space was. Maybe it's officially kind of I don't know, taking him over or whatever. He's under construction. Maybe listen, if he drops in, I just say we give him the floor. He must be busy. If he drops in, it's going to be important. And
Absolutely.
I just say we record scratch, stop, let him take his 12 seconds of input. Okay. Hey, so I first of all, Bradley, thank you graciously for allowing Blake and I to roll last week. We may have had too much of a pity party in our although it worked out for the Vikes, man.
I do. So this is I do need to say one thing, and I told Bradley this.
I know what he's about to say.
This is what I have. My relationship with the Minnesota Vikings is like a bad high school relationship with like an ex-girlfriend, because the minute that she gives me any attention or gives me any sign of hope,
You're back in. Yeah,
I'm back in.
I knew we had it in.
See, I'm all the way back. I want us to. Hey, I'm buyers at the deadline. A week ago, I just said sell the whole team. Hey, let's go get Pat Surtain. Let's go get Chase Young. I don't know. Throw him a fourth round pick. I don't care. But we got something here. And it's
literally a week ago, Blake. You were like, I'm
pissed we won the Bears game. I was saying that. I was upset that we beat the Bears because the season was over, and now I'm over here saying that we're back. And I told this to Bradley at the beginning of this year. I said, I think this Vikings team is better than last year's team. Now, I know that that's crazy, and that remains to be seen whether that's true or not. But I will say I do think defensively, this team can go further than last year's team in terms of postseason play, because last year's defense was literally the worst defense to ever play football.
You are the most qualified on this podcast.
You know what's hilarious? Even if we would have muted this conversation, just seeing how animated Blake is and how back he is,
you would have known.
He is full dive back in the deep end.
Hold on. Let me go grab it.
Oh my God.
Bradley, while he's doing that, how did we do last week? What was the?
It was super fun.
Did you listen to it? Okay,
great. Of course, great conversation. I enjoyed it. Honestly, I really enjoyed the fact that I didn't participate. I could just listen along with everybody else and feel the anxiety of what were they going to say about me, or what was the conversation about. And I thought y'all did a good job of. There he is. My gosh, man,
we're back.
I thought it was really interesting, the art of the trade conversation, because it's just so fascinating. And I feel like I've been a lot better, but I feel like I've also been guilty of some of the things Blake was mentioning as well. I also think it's personal preference. I don't think, it's like the way Blake handles it and he's approached is different than someone else would be approached. And that's partially because everybody's different. So you got to negotiate in different ways. And so some people like to have the detailed, here's why I'm offering what I'm offering. Some people you don't want to talk. Just send them the offer and see what they do, and it's just
like negotiating with a brick wall.
Fence post, brick wall, we have those two. So anyway, great job. It was really fun.
Thank you. That means a lot from the commission. Maybe Dalton, did he even give it? I'm trying to remember. I listened to it. I don't think he really gave us a nod. Well, he hadn't listened to it yet whenever he sent his stuff in. I'm curious maybe he'll respond back to us. Hey, I'm going to let you kind of, Bradley, introduce. I just forgot a prop for today, so I'm gonna go get that. But why don't you introduce kind of what we're going to do today, and then I'll be back and we'll take it over.
Okay, so Nathan is the host today. Blake and I are here. Dalton is also present, but he's under construction. I don't know what that means, but hopefully we'll get some fun background, some spicy background changes during the episode. But basically, Nathan did a lot of work on some comps, some real NFL team comparisons right now in comparison to our Scrantasy teams. And so Nathan has some comparisons. Nathan is kind of hosting. Nathan Levis is hosting and is going to propose.
Is that Mary
Blake
Jonah?
Blake and I just get to react. I really wish I was at my house so I could put the creamsicle Baker jersey on. Really join in on the fun.
Oh, I
Don't
thought
let me get the 33 Dalvin out.
I just thought like it literally is Levis season now, guys. Like Levis season. I can't wait to watch him run for his life. Okay, so my thoughts on this, and just to kind of give it a little caveat. I rather have no idea if you've already said this. I was out, but the way I was just thinking about, it'd be really cool to like look at our records, compare it with teams this year, like their records, and then just kind of start from there and just see if we have any comps. And so I made a list. I sent it to you guys ahead of time, and you guys had some suggestions, and I was like, well, why don't we just do this, and y'all just pick it apart, and then what we'll do is when we land on the official team, I'll just compile it. We'll send it in the group meeting whenever this is ready, and then let the debate begin.
Yeah.
Okay. Do y'all want to start with the bottom feeders, or how do you want to like? How do you want to go? How do you want to do this?
Let's
do you
go.
just go
I say we go bottom top. I go bottom top.
Bottom up. Bottom up.
Yeah. Okay. So while I pull up it's no surprise who the bottom teams are, but as I pull it up, just so we go by record, let's first start with between Evan and Wyatt. Do you guys have a preference on who you think is the bottom or?
Yes.
Okay, we'll start with Wyatt. So who would you guys think that why I have I think you could go a couple different ways here. I honestly he was the worst record is Carolina 0-6. I threw that out there. I think you can make some other comparisons, but just for my comp right now is the worst team in the league by record is the Carolina Panthers. Now, I obviously what Evan and Wyatt have the same record, but my thoughts are that Evan is a better team than Wyatt. So I say that Wyatt is Carolina. Thoughts?
I agree. I think the only reason you could say otherwise, and the only other team would be Arizona, and that's specific. I think part of it would be they had the same exact record, but I also think like Wyatt's probably only strong point is Tua, and Dobbs is kind of the only. I feel like the only plus for Arizona. If
James
you
Conner?
want to say that, he's been hurt.
I think his last 2 weeks, but like James,
he was
baller for a couple weeks. But I mean, I see your point. I'm not trying to.
Dalton did not appreciate that take.
He's out. He's like,
so
man, screw this.
Agree. I think Carolina is the most accurate.
Okay, and just because of the record, like just because they're
yeah. Okay. But I agree. I think Carolina is probably the best fit.
Bradley, do you have any?
Yeah, I actually have a counter to this, and this is coming from the fact I want to just make this known. I like Wyatt a lot. Wyatt and I have a good relationship outside of Scrantasy and inside of Scrantasy. I hope Wyatt is in Scrantasy a long time. I would, however, say that right now the Why Not Us franchise is looking a little more Denver Broncos than Carolina Panthers for future outlook. They made a lot of moves this offseason. Wyatt is coming off a tough year, tried to add some pieces, including drafting Jerry Jeudy and keeping Jerry Jeudy as a high.
So what's the like? Help me out with that. I forgot that. I forgot that even I would have never known that. But like apparently that's a sticking point. What did he bid on him? I honestly I don't even remember. What's the?
I was sitting right beside Blake, and when Wyatt made moves to get Jerry Jeudy, Blake's jaw hit the floor and just could not believe that's who he was getting in the auction draft. And it turns out it's kind of paid off that way. It's kind of played out that way. But I would just say that at least with Carolina, there's some hope. There's some thoughts that there's some steps moving forward. Maybe you have pieces there. I would say Denver is starting to look like a tire fire. And unfortunately, it's looking like Wyatt's team is pretty bleak. And Wyatt, and here's a comparison, and you can tell me your thoughts on this. Wyatt has got a little Russell Wilson in him, if I'm gonna be really honest. Good guy, just from an example standpoint, great guys, talent, mega talent.
Love for him to marry your sister.
Had some great years in the past, but sometimes polarizing in his takes, in his personality. And public opinion on his team and the way he's worked, it's not looking great right now. So I would argue Denver Broncos, but I'm not going to die on the hill. I think Panthers.
He's kind of won me over a little bit.
I agree.
From a record standpoint, I think you and I, but Bradley just took it to the next level. I think Denver, unless someone's going to override. I
think too, even like previous years too, Denver's outlook for the next, from last year to this year and years to come doesn't look great. And obviously we don't know next year and everything with Wyatt, but like this 2 years in a row where things have not gone well.
Yeah.
And I think you have like I don't know what Wyatt's next move is for this year. And I feel like Denver's kind of in the same boat. Like, what do you like you said with Carolina, they've got Bryce Young. Hopefully he develops. Hopefully he becomes who they drafted him to be.
Yeah. Well, again, another aspect of this is that, if any of us have ever been in a trade negotiation with Wyatt, Sean Payton is really my way or the highway kind of deal.
Yeah,
it's not looking like it's working out very well like it did in the past. Well, Wyatt's kind of a my way or the highway trade negotiator right now, and it's not working.
That is.
So, that's just from the court of the shop, and we've earned the right to say this, and it's just not look like it's working out very well.
Well, and hey, they get a chance. I mean, Wyatt will get his chance to respond. He'll have his opportunity to respond. Okay, let's move on to Evan.
Let's move on. Yeah.
Okay, so Evan and I have a friendly-ish rivalry. He was really upset with our conversation about our matchup last week, Blake. I don't know if he told you that, but he was really pissed at me for saying that our matchup was not as significant as someone else's, but that's okay. Anyway, I hope he's happy with it. I mean, I think there could be worse comps for Evan. I think I'm going Chargers. They have a great offense, or should. They have the makings of a great offense, but for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked out. Like, I mean, they've had some monster games. They've got some dudes. They've got some playmakers. Maybe they've run into some bad luck, maybe some coaching decisions, maybe just some guys didn't perform when they needed to, but they're sitting at 2-5. And like, I think we could all agree they should be better than that. Just if you look on paper,
yeah.
I think if you look at Evan's team on paper, they should be better than he is.
Yeah.
And some of that's just the way it happens in fantasy. But yeah, I went with the Chargers. What do you guys think?
I think Chargers is the best comparison. I do personally. Sorry, you go, Bradley. I saw you had something.
No, I think you're right on the money. I don't really have a lot to say. They've got a lot of name brand talent that should, like you said, they should produce. They're just not getting a lot of W's in the end. I would say, just on a caveat, that, and I know I wasn't involved, but like I think y'all's matchup is potentially going to be the game of the year in this Scrantasy season. When you get to the
last week,
when you get to the third and fourth quarter and every catch has an implication on the scoreboard,
it's wild.
Every kick. Like, I was texting Nathan a little bit. I was keeping up with Evan because like I want to see how he was doing, and just for like full transparency, like I was kind of rooting for Evan for a little bit there because Nathan came back in such a full swing. I was like, Evan, you guys got to respond, man. Let's go. And
I was insane.
I mean, like, those are fun. You watch
that first down.
I get why he was upset.
Kittle drop. Dude,
honestly,
he had it. He had it. And he dropped.
That was the game. That was it.
That was the game.
But that's fun when, like, in fantasy football, the ball's in the air and you think this could change the lead. Like that. Those are rare and really fun.
Well, and we both had players. I actually had two. I had their kicker as well. So that 50-yard bomb was honestly, I mean, yes, the Addison's catch at the very end won it, but like that bomb put me up. It was insane. It was great. I honestly, I was writing a paper in the first half, and then I checked my phone, and well, of course y'all were all over Noah's parlay, which maybe that's a sore subject. We probably shouldn't talk about that. But but I looked and I was like, holy crap, I'm in this. And I didn't write for an hour and a half. I just watched the game. I was up till 1 a.m. writing, and it was all worth it. Anyway, so I think Chargers, if y'all are good with Chargers, we'll leave it at that.
Because I would say my last thing I would say is that there's a world where the Chargers turn it around and go on a 4 or 5 game win streak. I could easily see Evan doing that. I could see him losing some more, but he's got the talent to do stuff if things go his way.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So next, I'm going strictly by the final standings projection on the app as of right now. So in 8th position right now is the Waybakers. I threw out on here the Patriots, and I'll kind of give you my, again, I looked at records first, and then I just thought, they've kind of been disappointing based in years past and Belichick, but they've got a strong head coach. They've won a couple of bigger games, but ultimately overall have underperformed. And this is the first time we're talking about one of our teams. And so, Bradley, I'll let you take the floor. Are you offended? Is that, where are you on that?
At first I was offended. Then you explained it a little bit more. And then I thought, yeah, that's actually accurate. I would propose it's a little bit at this point. It's more like the Bengals than the Patriots, and here's why. The Bengals started off where statistically almost zero teams make the playoffs. Like it's almost an impossible climb back up. And I'm currently at a place where statistically almost an impossible climb back up. But if things go the right way, and if it looks like the team's kind of piecing it together, there's a window. There's a tiny window. And I would say that my team from week 3 to now looks extremely different. And it's a team that's got some juice. And so I would say that even if I don't make the postseason, I'm not necessarily a team people are looking forward to seeing. And so with that, I would say the Bengals are somewhat, and that's not a perfect thing, but I would say because I just think there's a little more hope for the Waybakers and the Patriots this year. That's the only thing, but I think it's accurate.
Blake, so I said Patriots, he said Bengals. Do you have another input, or do you want to just choose between the two? What are your thoughts?
I think I see both sides. Patriots makes more sense in terms of just like historically. I think like Bradley's the most winningest manager in the league, right? And I don't think we expected. I think it's one of those things where you're like, well, Bradley's going to be in the top 4. And right now, it's like he's saying he's got to. I mean, I think you got to win out. You can't lose another game. And I think right now I lean Patriots because Patriots. I think right now the New England Patriots are playing spoiler more than they're playing to compete for the playoffs. And I think, like I said with Nathan last week, obviously I think your team has I think you're right. You have the firepower to rattle off 6 in a row. The
firepower of the Bengals. I agree with that.
I just don't think you can because that's the way fantasy football works.
And my schedule
I think that everyone's schedule's so good except for G's. G has, which to be fair, I think I said it last week. I need G to not lose another game unless it's to me, just with where I'm at in the standings. But G's got, honestly, everybody else apart from right now Wyatt and Evan. Wyatt specifically. G got to play Wyatt twice. It's not fair. I wish I got to play Wyatt twice.
Right.
So, I don't know. To me, I lean Patriots because I think you're going to play spoiler to a team that needs to get in. Like in New England, and Belichick has that ability when they're playing a division game. They're playing Miami, and Bill Belichick's going to have a scheme that's going to, for some reason, Miami's going to freeze out. Right? And I'm not saying Miami specifically, but
whatever team.
That is my example. Exactly.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
I think you're accurate in the offense. Like the firepower you have, it would be more like the Bengals than the Patriots. But I think your situation,
your team
maybe
is
more
built,
like more like the Patriots.
A couple weeks too late though, boys.
You're the Patringles.
I could be 3-4 if it wasn't for losing to Wyatt.
The Patriots.
I'm gonna tell you what keeps me up at night. That.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going. We'll go to another team. I'm tired.
Well, next is by the projections. It's Blake at number 7. I put Vikings. It's probably, again. Here's my thought with this. Whenever I put them, not only did it like just fit because he's a Vikings fan, offensive, like just outside of running back, which I think that was a strategy of yours, like to not necessarily get a hero, but like wide receivers, like great quarterback, I don't know. I just thought that I think your record. Are you a game off or is it the same? You're a game up, right? On then technically the Vikings. The Vikings aren't 3-4, are they? Are they 2-5?
They are 3-4. We're both 3-4.
So you do have the same record. Okay.
Yeah.
That's where I went Vikings. It may be more of a homer pick, just because I knew you liked them too.
It's
Blake?
easy. Yeah.
Bradley, what do you think?
I'll say this, and then Blake, you can have the last word. But I would say after the first few games, it was looking pretty bleak. We just talked about it. Like Blake's going to probably be in competition for the consequence again. Not a great place for him to be. And then a couple of sparks of hope, a couple of trades, a couple of big weeks, and suddenly there's a chance he makes a run. And that's very much like the Vikings right now. We got a lot of hope in the Vikings' chances because of the output that we just saw, and much like your team in fantasy. So I think it's just the perfect fit, and it's just super awesome that Blake's a Vikings fan to go with it.
I know, literally. I agree. I think it's the same. I feel the exact same way. Like I felt like
whose playoff chances would you rather have, the Vikings or yours?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because-
Well, there's more
Next
games.
game.
There's more games. There's more time. I think that makes a lot more sense.
I think it's just the next 6 games for the Vikings are just so. I mean, to me, that's the only thing that's making me feel like Minnesota can make the playoffs because the next 6 games are Green Bay, Atlanta, New Orleans, Denver, Chicago, Vegas.
Yeah, they're winnable.
All very winnable games.
Yeah.
If you go 5, I think at worst you go 5-1 if you play well. Obviously that could be wrong, but if the Vikings are a playoff team, like I think they can be, 5-1 is the worst you're going to go there, and still make the playoffs. But yeah, I think the Vikings makes the most sense.
I think we're 4 for 4, like on consensus here.
Yeah.
Like nobody's died on a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. In 6th place, or projected to be 6th, is cleats will be worn, Mr. Scott Ashby. Now, this one will probably change. I had the Raiders, and the reason why I thought that is Devontae, like one of the just like perennially an awesome receiver, and perennially Scott has great receivers. Josh Jacobs, a great running back. So overall, their offense is good, but for whatever reason, like you look at their offense, you look at their stats, even their fantasy production, you're like, yeah, I bet he's 5-2, but you know, and for some reason his record doesn't really quite reflect what they could be. So maybe he's underperforming a little bit. Again, subject to change. What do you guys think, Raiders? You guys have a better comp?
Blake, you can go first this time.
I feel like I'm leaning Rams.
Okay.
Rams are also 3 and 4.
Yep.
I think they're fun. They're really, really fun. Like watching the Rams play it's a fun game. Puka and Kupp are fun. Amon-Ra and Tyreek are fun.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't always translate to winning games necessarily.
Matt Stafford and Josh Allen, they both can like make a dazzling play and then break your heart in the same drive.
Exactly. Like the next play, throw a pick, and Josh will try to do too much and break 3 tackles and throw a ball 60 yards for a pick. Like, you live and die by it. But when he makes those plays, he's really freaking fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like the Rams made a little bit more sense for me.
That's great. I love it. I love it. What, Bradley, if you've got another team, throw it in there.
Dude,
if not, you can flip the coin here. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's hear it.
I have New Orleans Saints because I would say just dead level honest, Scott is really good. Scott has not been to the top like the Rams have, but fun team, came in with a little bit more potential. I think y'all said it last week, or maybe Scott's a really good drafter. Like he brings a lot of potential into the league. I think the Saints were like the heads up favorite to win the NFC South. Derek Carr came in and was supposed to be like a major improvement for them. And again, just hasn't played out the way that you've wanted, but they're still in the mix. Like they still with schedule and with different things, they have the talent. Olave he's a big play guy, one of the better talent receivers in the league that could turn it around. You've got Michael Thomas. You've got Kamara back. Blake and I disagree. Derek Carr still has potential to be a good NFL quarterback. Like there's a chance they can. I don't think it's going to be pretty necessarily, but I think they can do it. And I just have too much respect for Scott Ashby to compare that man to Josh McDaniels. I just will not do it. So it's between Rams and Saints.
Rams and Saints. Okay, let me ask you this, Bradley. Not that this is everything. Do you think of offense when you think Scott Ashby?
Not necessarily. Not compared to some other teams. Not compared to some. I think potential offense. That's why I think that the Saints were supposed to be better offensively. I think Scott was supposed to be better offensively. I don't know. That's just me.
I am officially removing the Raiders. I do think that I think it's a toss-up, honestly. I see both sides. I do think Scott will win a bunch of games that he's not supposed to, and he's lost a couple where you're like, man, he probably shouldn't have lost that game. I'm good. What if you guys just want to leave it and then let them decide? Let the peeps decide?
Let's make a choice. Nathan, you make the choice. And then they can flip it if they want.
I'm going Rams.
Awesome.
Just because of Tyreek and Amon-Ra. Man, it's just
losing. I love losing toss-ups. I'm 0 for 2. Let's keep going.
Next is in 5th place is Noah. Lassiter. Okay. Man, we've talked almost every week. We've been like, dude, his team. Oh my gosh, his team. And And I think last week is what happened last week with Bijan was kind of for me is like it like sold the deal. I have him as the Cowboys, and he may hate the Cowboys, and this isn't a personal thing. I thought Tony Pollard would be way better than he was, and then when Bijan like just disappeared last week, and I know that wasn't great for him. I was just like, man, I think it's Cowboys. It's Cowboys. A lot of hype, and not unjust hype for Noah's sake. He's got a great team, but yeah, the records are the same, and have the capability to put up what's that word?
Astronomically.
That one, numbers offensively, and he has. But yeah, I have the Cowboys. What do you think?
I agree. Sorry, I'm on the move here. No, I agree. I fully agree. No debate here with me. I have nothing really.
I think it's not the same record, but I feel like the Bengals are also kind of in that conversation for him because of the potential offensively. We've seen it. We've seen it when it works. We've seen it when it doesn't. And like obviously injuries aren't necessarily there, but I feel like the Bengals are a team where could also be in that conversation. I think I like Cowboys more.
Yeah.
Just because they can drop 40. I mean, the Bengals can too, but
it's almost like the Bengals last year. The Bengals last year would be like perfect for his team because they may not have had the best start, but like the firepower was just off the chain.
Yeah. And I do feel like the order in which it's happening is more Cowboys. Like Bengals was pretty front heavy where they were kind of tough, and I feel like they're kind of turning it around. And I feel like with Noah it was very front. This team looks unstoppable. And over the last 2-3 weeks, he's kind of cooled down a little bit. And I feel like that's more Dallas, where they don't look like unbeatable. You know, like I'm not afraid to play Dallas right now. I would rather play Dallas than Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Personally. So I think Dallas does make more sense.
Boom. We'll call it a consensus. Really, the only one is Scott with the Rams versus the Saints, which I think we'll let them duke it out. All right. This is where it got tough for me, honestly. So I'm number 4, and I'm probably like I have a really good record, or I have a top 4 record. Like right now, I'm in the top 4. I think without last week, I think last week Jordan Addison just like I went in, I didn't think I had a chance to win. Crazy like crazy game. I'm at 5-2. I went with the Bills. Like the Bills just thumped Miami, and honestly, so I'll say that I have Cooper as Miami. He's got a crazy offensive team, and I beat him just like the Bills beat Miami, in kind of a like, dude, they smoked them, you know, and it was just like, wow, how did they do that? But they have the same record. We have the same record, and I think from an offensive standpoint, like I think I'm a little bit more confident in Cooper's team offensively than I am mine, but my guys have gotten it done, you know, up to this point. So I went with for me, I went with the Bills. What do you guys think?
Bradley?
I would say, so this is where I kind of have a couple mixed thoughts. I actually would kind of mix up a few of these. I would say you're more like the Niners. And just because I know when it's right and when everybody's healthy and working, you've got a really good team, but there are also guys who have underperformed. There's injuries. There's different things that have gone south. I don't know. I even verbally processed that. I don't like that. I just said that. We may edit that out. Yeah, I would say
it's hard. It's a little bit harder with the top teams because they've lost some games inextricably. Like it's a little bit tougher. But
you know what? Actually, no. You are the Bills. Sorry, you are the Bills for all those reasons. You also lose you have the chance to lose some inexplicable games because. Why did you, not you, but you know what I'm saying? Why'd your players not show up or whatever? Like the Bills have that weird capability.
Yeah.
They have the potential to win. They have the potential to win it all. And so I think Bills is actually really accurate for you. The next 3 I'm going to mix up. But yeah.
Blake.
I don't know. For some reason, I don't love Bills. I don't know why.
I don't know who,
but I don't really have yeah, exactly. I don't necessarily have a team that I feel like is there. Yeah. The only, I don't know, part of me thinks maybe Jacksonville. Just to be honest, like I feel like what you said the other day about my team is pretty similar to your team as well. Like you, I hear you might not have as many names, and I think you do now with Kamara and Saquon. But I think your wide receiver room, like Keenan's usually not a top 5. He's usually top 10, but no one's usually like top 3 wide receiver Keenan Allen, right? But right now, that's what he's doing, right? Like Addison has been unbelievable for you at flex, like, and you traded a lot of names away, to be honest, with Mixon and CD, and you got, Saquon back. So obviously, I mean, the names are there, but I think I say Jacksonville because there's guys that produce and put up points, but you might not know. And it's not a household name. You're not like, oh, good fantasy player necessarily. The instant you see them, you're not like, oh, Christian Kirk, I need him on my fantasy team, right? And I feel like Kirk's been great for Jacksonville. I don't know. Maybe I feel like that's the only other team other than Buffalo. I guess I'm just trying to create content too.
Yeah.
What do you think with that? Rather,
I see where you're coming from, but I still think from like a talent standpoint, the Bills. I think.
Yeah.
I would just say the Bills, but I don't think it's a bad take. I think it's a worthy conversation. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Bills. I like honestly. Being a Titans fan, I just don't. Being compared to the, I threw you just a softball, giving you the Vikings, and you're giving me a rival. So I'm gonna go with the Bills.
Let's make things personal.
That's awesome.
Okay, what about Cooper with Miami? I kind of laid out kind of like I think we have the same record. We're in the same division. There's some parallels there that are really that are there. And honestly, it was like I don't think I had the offensive power, and the Bills beat them. And I think offensively, Miami's better than the Bills. So I went Miami. What do you guys think?
This is where I would put the Niners because not as many I know this is like fantasy football, but like not the biggest names are making the most impact. I mean, he had Kyron Williams, who has been a gem. Obviously, Jalen. Like 49ers have those staples, and the system works. But you bring in some other guys that just produce when they can. I wouldn't say Hollywood Brown's good, but he's actually been a lot better than expected. He's got the staple in Travis Kelce. That's kind of like the CMC of his team. You know what I mean? So I would say he's a top tier team. But if the cogs don't all work, kind of like a Shanahan offense, if a couple cogs get out, it's a lot more of a toss up than you think. It's not as dominant as you would have thought. So I would actually put him currently as the 49ers totally.
Like
I got Ravens, a quarterback tight end driven team with Lamar and Kelce, or Lamar and Andrews, and those are the two most talented players on his team, with Hurts and Kelce. I think also where they're trending, like right now, I think Ravens are trending up. I think Cooper's trending up. I think wide receiver wise, Baltimore has guys that get the job done and do what they need, but not necessarily dominant. And I think that is where Cooper's at. I think Cooper's getting 12, 13 a game from his receivers, but he's getting 35 from tight end. I think that's where his money's being made, is at quarterback and tight end. And so I think as Hurts and Kelce go, Cooper goes, and I think the same with Baltimore. And honestly, he's kind of at running back, not his fault. Jacobs hasn't been as good, and Kyron got hurt, and kind of the same with Baltimore running back. Like they've had how many running backs go down and kind of plug and play right now, and it sucks for him. And it's not his fault. I think he drafted well. It just didn't work out. And then he was good on the wire too. But right now, I think Baltimore is where I sit.
Bradley, I love it.
I'm fully convinced. That was a good one, Blake. That was a good one.
I think the reason. So I wrote down. I'll be honest. I wrote down the Ravens first, and I was like, man, I do think that's disrespectful to his offensive team. Like just because of how. But you nailed it. Like it's not the wide receivers, and really, it's not the running backs. It's the quarterback and tight. I think you nailed it. We're going Ravens. All right, top two. Here we go. Mr. Britt in second place. I think this is just perfect because he's a big Chiefs fan. I have Chiefs. He's got a lot of firepower. Just gets it done. There was a world where, to me, I could have put the G with the Chiefs. I just think I for whatever reason, maybe it was his hometown team, or not hometown team, but his favorite team. And I thought just like they just get the job done, and they've done that a few times in the last few weeks. They've just got the job done. Like they've got it. Maybe he's got the honeymoon era. Like he's newly married. He's got the Swift and Kelsey, Taylor Swift and Kelsey kind of new romance. It's just given some fuel to his fire. But I don't know. I went Chiefs. Y'all tear me apart with that. Blake, what do you think?
I like Chiefs. I know we're late. I like G for Chiefs too, but the reason I like G for Chiefs, I think we just kind of blend these last two here. If that's cool, is that cool?
Yeah,
I like G for Chiefs because I think the Chiefs have seen turnover and have seen guys go out or leave, and they're still doing what they do. And I think G this year has had guys like Jefferson went down, and Thielen shows up. Right? It's like, who's going to go off for G this week? Like, and it's going to be a guy we don't even know. Like, we know who they are, but we don't expect.
We don't know which one. Yeah.
To be the top 10 wide receiver in fantasy. We don't expect frickin' McLaurin to be 14, 15 a week. Like, I feel like it's.
And he also has Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback.
That helps a lot, and Mahomes helps too with the Chiefs comp. But I think that's what I meant. Yeah. I think, to me, I like G for Chiefs because I feel like, to me, there's not star power everywhere right now in Kansas City.
But he's got three studs. Well,
but
one got hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you obviously have Kelsey, and I think that would be his CMC. And then you've got guys that just make plays, like just win games. And I think the defense is also helping a lot with Kansas City, or their actual success in the NFL. But I don't know.
Yeah.
You can poke holes in that too, but I feel like right now, I like G as Chiefs more than Britt.
Bradley, I'm anxious to hear just your G and Britt. You can throw them in either order.
I think it's a good argument. I would probably lean G or Britt Chiefs only because I think G is Miami, and I think it's more. I mean, we talk about the potential of people or whatever, but the production of G's titties is unbelievable. G's titties is unbelievable. Excuse me, is unbelievable. G has put up no less than 122 points in every contest except one. The Dolphins have been a points machine in basically all except the dud against the Bills. Like, he's actually capable. And they have studs, right? Like, they have, Miami's got Tyreek. You know what you're getting with him. The run game, you're kind of getting, and with Waddle. So they've kind of got a big three. G's had a big three. And you kind of think, right? Oh, if the running back goes down, then what's going to happen? Or if Tyreek goes down. But dudes just come in and fill in spots and are actually producing and going off. I mean, we got A-Chain filling in for Monster and, like, making unbelievable plays. So, like, even though JJ's gone down, Thielen has picked it up. I mean, a lot of weird reasons why Blake said the Chiefs, but, like, from an astronomical numbers standpoint, like, if you're getting around 130 a game, that's hard to beat. And the Dolphins are getting stupid amounts of points a game. So I would say just from a standpoint, Miami's G. I would stick with Britt with the Chiefs.
So the reason I like it the other way is I feel like Britt has more potential to go for 150 than G does. And the Dolphins put up 70. I think he can just put up a larger amount of points. I think G's more consistent. You know what I mean? I think G's going to get you what he's going to get you. Yeah. So I guess it can never end, But
here's the thing: we're comparing them to the three best teams in the NFL. Like it could be a lot worse.
We don't know which one to choose from. But
I mean, Britt is putting up stupid numbers as well. There is no doubt about that.
That's why I like Britt for Miami, because so many guys on Miami, they touch the ball, they can score wherever they're at, and I think that's where Britt's team is. Is like, dude, he's got Eckler, Cup, like Andrews, like he's got dudes everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Lamar,
yeah, like he can have a dude off with just about anybody. Like, and I feel like Miami, whether or not they're household names or not, they've got dudes that are electric, and to me, that's why I like. And I'm not saying that's a better team, because I think the Chiefs are better than the Dolphins are. But in terms of how their team
defense built, which is not necessarily
not really relevant, in terms of fantasy conversation. But that's where I lean.
Nathan, looks like you're going to be the final decision.
So I'll do this. I'll eliminate 49ers from both because it feels like, although I think like they're on both of them. So we'll just, I think both of you felt strongly about, I think I put the 49ers on anyway. So I think it's Miami and the Chiefs. Would you say those are the two best teams in the NFL?
Offense. I think the Eagles. I think
argument.
Yes, offense is yes. Okay. Maybe Eagles.
All right. I'm going to land on. I think just because I had it this way, but I'm not going to choose this. I'm going to go Britt as Miami. Honestly, because I think he has more playmakers. And I'm going to go G as the Chiefs, but he has some great. He left the draft with arguably the best guy in three categories, and so I think that I'm going to give that the Chiefs to G for that, only because it's not completely transferable. But I think I'm going to go Chiefs. I'm going to overrule whoever was not. G is the Chiefs, Britt is Miami. That's how I landed.
Hey,
it could be a lot worse.
If I got a bird to poop on my hand, would you side with me? I'll do it just for once. That'd be awesome.
Dang, man. I honestly thought I sided with you.
Go through the list, Nathan. Give us the final.
All right, the final. We'll start at the top. G, the Chiefs. Britt, Miami. Nathan is the Bills. Cooper's the Ravens. Noah's the Cowboys. Scott is the Rams. Blake is the Vikings. Bradley's the Patriots. Evan's the Chargers. Wyatt is Denver. That is our week. What is it? Week 8 now? Week 7? Week 8 NFL comp.
Great job, boys. I think that's good. I'm excited to see what the guys say in the group me.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm ready to get destroyed in that.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. We'll any closing remarks, guys? I think we're good. I enjoyed that. That was a fun conversation.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun. Yeah, I don't have any closing comments.
Let's finish with this. What's the Will Levis debut prediction for this week?
Well, he's going to split time with Malik Willis. But I think he'll do what he did in college. He'll have some throws where you're like, those are the throws. That's great. We need that. He'll also have the throws where you're like, we never need that. We don't need that. We don't need that. I think he'll get sacked quite a bit. The thing I like about him versus Willis is he's been and this is going to make me sound like a homer, but like I feel like he's been in a lot more competitive games with a lot more talent. Not that it's not perfect, but like Malik Willis was at Liberty. Like he was in an offense where he was slinging the ball over the plate. Like it was very system, and he was great in that system. But he wasn't going up against, Tennessee and Georgia. And but he went, twice he went up against the Eagles front line, like in Georgia. So I think he's used to that a little bit more. I don't think he'll look as bad as I don't think it'd be terrible. But I think he will definitely leave me thinking, well, they have to make I think the Titans have to make a move, and I think making a move, and you've seen what Willis can do. I just think they need to get behind somebody for the rest of the year and just say, hey, here's our guy. Let's see what happens, because they got to do something.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a big difference between Conference USA and the SEC. I think there's a fairly big difference in talent. Hey, there's an old saying though, Nathan. If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah,
well,
we shall see.
We'll see how it plays out. Another big week in Scrantasy, boys. This has been Talkin Shop. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Love season.